Healthy romantic relationships are important for everyone, but they can be especially valuable for those of us who are autistic adults. A strong, supportive relationship can provide emotional connection, stability, and a sense of belonging for autistic adults like you and me, who may have faced challenges with social communication, sensory sensitivities, or past misunderstandings in relationships. A healthy romantic partnership can be life changing. In this video, we will explore practical tips for fostering and maintaining healthy relationships as autistic adults. So, let's get started. Hey, define yourselfer. I am the confident autistic. I'm an autistic adult, late diagnosed, and here on my YouTube channel, I share videos that will help you understand autism and build the confidence you need to thrive in a neurotypical world, because I'm on a mission to empower you to embrace autism confidently. Now, if this kind of content resonates with you, please subscribe to this channel and be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new videos and when I go live, my weekly Q&A live stream. A healthy relationship can provide companionship that can reduce loneliness and enhance well-being. A healthy relationship can provide emotional support by providing comfort and reassurance during life's challenges. When you build a healthy relationship with the right partner, you may experience personal growth because your partner will be encouraging you to grow, which can lead to self improvement and increase your own self confidence. A healthy relationship can empower or improve, that is, your mental and physical health. Studies show that healthy relationships can lower stress, improve heart health, and boost overall happiness. A healthy relationship fosters a safe space for sensory and emotional regulation. A trusted partner can help accommodate sensory sensitivities, creating a relationship dynamic that respects and supports your individual needs. Now, there are several unique benefits for autistic adults who are in a healthy relationship, and those benefits include an understanding and acceptance of your autism. A healthy partner or partner in a healthy relationship can provide a safe space where autistic adults like you and me can feel understood and accepted. Additionally, another amazingly awesome benefit, actually a unique benefit for autistic adults when we're in a healthy relationship, is social and emotional stability. Having a supportive partner can reduce feelings of isolation and help navigate social situations. And I can tell you this is true from personal experience. I've been with my wife. We started dating in 2000. We've been together since. And when we go before, when I go places, or even when I go places today without her, I've gotten better, but I don't do all that well. I usually foul things up or flood my way through social interactions and social situations. Now, when my wife is with me, she helps me. When I engage a conversation with someone who's working somewhere and English is a second language or they have a thick accent, nothing against them, it takes me longer to process what they say. And sometimes I can't process it. But my wife there, I can look at my wife. She knows instinctively, because we've done this before, that I'm not understanding what's going on. And she'll either answer the question for me or break it down for me so I can understand it. And then there was an instance the other day. We went somewhere, I can't remember where, and I was having some trouble with something. And my wife, and we were somebody else there, and my wife explained, "Oh, don't worry, he's autistic. He's fine. Don't worry about it." She advocates for me as well. So when I'm not able to advocate for myself, my partner is there for me. This is one of those unique benefits that we may experience when we're in a healthy romantic relationship. Another unique benefit that we may experience as autistics in a healthy romantic relationship is clearer communication and clearer, accepted, and understanding of boundaries. Because many autistic adults thrive in relationships where direct and honest communication is valued. A healthy relationship fosters open conversations about needs, boundaries, and expectations. And we're going to be getting into good ways to communicate and what to do if we struggle with communication a little bit later in this video. But when we do have that open communication with our partner, which exists in a healthy romantic relationship, we can share comfortably. Like I mentioned, we have safe space. We feel comfortable in our safe space when we're talking with them, and we can share what our boundaries are. And we're going to be getting into this in a moment. Now, the truth is, relationships are not all smooth sailings. As with anything else in life, there are some challenges that occur in any relationship, even in healthy relationships. And these challenges, especially for those of us on the spectrum, can include sensory sensitivities, communication differences, understanding social cues. Now, these may be more prevalent, the challenges may be more prevalent at the start of a relationship, but they can be worked through when you communicate openly with your partner. And you will know that you found the potential right partner when your partner understands your challenges and wants to help make the relationship less challenging for you. That's a sign that you may be with somebody who's the right fit for you. Now, communication is the foundation of any successful and healthy relationship. Clear, open, and honest communication is essential in any romantic relationship. But for autistic adults like you and me, it plays an even more crucial role. Many autistic individuals like ourselves process information, express emotions, and interpret social cues differently than our autistic peers. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but let's revisit this topic while we're here. Now, when we have our own unique way or challenges with processing information, expressing emotions, or interpreting social cues, this can lead to misunderstandings if communication is not direct and transparent. So, a strong, healthy relationship thrives when both partners feel heard, respected, and understood. We want to be understood. We want to be heard. We want to be understood. I mentioned that. I know I'm redundant, but that's okay. But not only do we want that, we need to give that to our partners. And I want to stop for a moment and bring this up. It's not all about us. In a relationship, you also got to start thinking about the other person. You want your partner to think about your needs. You need to be thinking about their needs and working together to create something that's comfortable and safe for both of you. Now, why is clear, open, and honest communication? Why does it matter for us autistic adults? Well, let's take a look into this and discover the whys. And there's 5 of them, I believe. And the first is this type of communication reduces misunderstandings. Autistic individuals may struggle with reading between the lines. I know I do. I I cannot tell you the number of times as a kid when my mom would tell me, "You stop reading between the lines because you're not doing it right." Another thing that we challenge with is interpreting sarcasm. I'm great at getting sarcasm if it's in a movie, a TV show, or on morning radio. And I'm great at being sarcastic. But when somebody in real life is sarcastic around me, I don't get it. I don't interpret it. I don't get it as sarcasm. We also sometimes struggle with picking up on subtle emotional cues. picking up, I don't even notice them. Okay, let's be honest there. This is why direct and explicit communication helps prevent confusion and ensures both parties are on the same page. So, I mean, this is more for your partner's information than for yourself. You can find a way to share it with them. All of this that I'm sharing here throughout the video is beneficial not only for you, but for your partner, especially if they're autistic. And feel free to share the video with them because maybe this would be a great way to start the conversation. The second way that communication is very beneficial for those of us on the spectrum is that it supports emotional, or it can support emotional regulation. Now, as you know, many autistic adults experience heightened emotions or difficulties expressing feelings in a way that neurotypical partners understand. A safe space for open dialogue allows us to share our emotions without fear of judgment. This is very important because, for some of us, when we're really upset, we may get emotional, we may cry, or we may shut down and we may have to type it up or write it up or send a text. And that's not the normal, well, I don't want to say normal because I don't like that word, but that's not the typical way people who are autistic will communicate. They just get it out, they just say it, whatever. But for us, we may need that time to process. So we know we're in a safe place with a safe person that understands that. Then when we are having trouble expressing ourselves, we can use an alternate way of communicating that is comfortable for us without fear of them judging us and thinking, well, this person isn't really a grown-up or whatever, and being misunderstood, which can cause a lot of harm in a relationship. Another important factor why communication can benefit a autistic person in a relationship is that it encourages mutual understanding. Every person, regardless of if they are autistic or not, has a unique needs and boundaries and sensory preferences. Honest conversations help both partners, that means you and your partner, navigate topics like personal space, affection styles, social interactions, and daily routines in a way that feels comfortable for both. Now, a lot of people, from my observation and my understanding of life, whether they're autistic or not, will overlook these important factors. And they discover it by bumping into them. When I say bumping into them, where one person intrudes on the other person's needs for space, or when they need to have some space or be alone. And sometimes we do that because, oh my God, they want space. They're going to break up with me. We're in that fear mode. So we want to get in there and figure out what's going on, which can actually drive it further away because we have not had that conversation. When do you need space? How can I give you space? And all these other things that we don't talk about, we really should. I know it's an awkward conversation, but we should. But having that conversation early in the relationship, but at the right time, can help you avoid some confrontations, which will make the relationship easier to manage and reduces anxiety, which anxiety is a major problem for many of us on the spectrum, including myself. The fourth benefit of communication in a relationship, whether it be for autistics or even allistics, is communication builds trust and security. When autistic adults feel safe expressing ourselves without being dismissed or criticized, trust deepens because we're knowing that both partners, and especially ourselves, can speak openly without fear of conflict or rejection. And this creates a more stable and secure relationship. And the fifth benefit of communication is that it allows for direct problem solving. Instead of relying on unspoken expectations or hints, which many of us in the spectrum, including myself, do not get, direct communication helps resolve conflicts efficiently. Autistic individuals like us often appreciate clear solutions and straightforward discussions rather than emotional guessing games. That was one thing that was important to me when I was dating. I wanted to make sure that whoever I was going to have a long-term relationship with was not the type of person who would say when they were mad at me, "Well, if you don't know why I'm mad at you, I'm certainly not going to tell you." I do not want to play those games. I'm not into playing games like that. And because I don't win those games. I don't know any guy who does win those games. Okay, I just don't. It's direct communication, and it needs to go both ways. Now I lied. I said there was five. There's actually six. So the sixth benefit of communication is that it respects processing differences, and that is benefit direct communication. It respects processing differences. As you may or may not know, some autistic adults need extra time to process emotions and respond thoughtfully. You will not believe the amount of time each day I think I spend on processing my emotions. On a good day, it's probably about 25%. Most days, around 40 to 50% of the day, it seems like that I'm processing emotions. Now, when you have open communication with your partner, that will allow for flexibility and which will give you some space, or actually gives you some space for written or verbal communication styles that works best with both parties. Because when we process, sometimes we have to write our emotions, sometimes we have to journal, whatever, and we need that time to work through it. And when we have open communication, we can use that alternate way of communicating, whatever is comfortable for us, so we can share how we feel. Now, here's some tips for effective communication in a romantic relationship. And some of these tips could also be used in a professional relationship, a friendship relationship, a relationship family member, but we're specifically talking about romantic relationships, but feel free to use them in other types of relationships. And the first is that when we are communicating, we need to be explicit and direct. Both we and our partner should be. This means we should avoid vague statements or assumptions. We actually need to say what we mean. Additionally, a great effective way to communicate is to use I statements. Express your feelings without blaming the other person. Example, say something like, "I feel overwhelmed when plans are suddenly changed." Instead of saying, "Well, every time you change the plans, it really upsets me." The latter puts the other person on the defense, which only is going to escalate the tension, the anxiety, and make the problem even larger. You do not want to put someone on the defensive. You do not. Because the goal when you're having a conflict and you want to communicate it is to de escalate the situation, not to escalate it and make it worse. Another tip that we should keep in mind during communication is to clarify our intentions. That is, if something is unclear, ask for clarification rather than assuming. So when somebody says something to you, when you're communicating or you're communicating, do your very best to be clear and precise in the words that you use. And if somebody's being vague to you, ask them what they mean. Don't assume, because often when we assume, we get it wrong, and that makes the situation worse. Another thing that we should keep in mind for effective communication is to respect different communication styles. We talked about this a little bit early in the video, and I'm just going to dive back into it and maybe go a little bit deeper. Because there's some autistic adults, and you may be one of them, who prefer written communication or need additional time to process before responding. And if that's the case, and your partner is that way, let's say you're an autistic watching this video because your autistic partner recommended it to you. Thanks for checking out the video, by the way. Uh, you need to let them have that time to process their emotions. Everyone processes things differently at a different rate, a different speed, a different way. And you need to be respectful of that. Not everyone is exactly like you. Another tip that to take into consideration, and the last one in this area, is a tip for when we're communicating, is to be patient and non-judgmental. Now, this goes for both autistic and holistics, because when we are patient and non-judgmental, we are creating a safe space for open dialogue, which strengthens the relationship. If we're non-judgmental, either one of us, and we're patient, either one in a relationship, the other's going to feel safe that they can share what they feel. And when you do share your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, that will only strengthen your relationship, especially if it's a good relationship. I know it's hard to share. I struggle with that to this day. My wife is always on me about that, and she should be too, that I need to open up and share more with her. It's just very difficult for me to do. I don't know why. I cannot tell you why. I cannot give you a reason why. But, we need to do that. It's an important tip to make communication more beneficial for us in a relationship. Because a relationship built on clear, honest communication allows both parties, both you and your partner, to feel valued and understood. And that makes it easier to navigate love, connection, and everything life, or everyday life, that is, together. Now, communication can be challenging at times. And when communication is difficult for you, seeking professional help is an option, not a sign of weakness. Remember, no one can be perfect at everything on their own. If we did not need other people in the world, why are there 8 billion people on the planet? That's what I always say. Now, you can engage in counseling either by yourself or with your partner if your partner is willing and comfortable in participating in counseling. A relationship counselor, especially one who's familiar with autism, can be a valuable resource for autistic adults who struggle with communication in a romantic relationship. These counselors can provide guidance, tools, and strategies to help both partners understand each other better, express their needs more effectively to each other, and navigate challenges in a supportive way. Working with a relationship counselor doesn't mean something is wrong with the relationship. It's a proactive way to strengthen communication and build a deeper, more supported connection. Relationship counselors help autistic adults and their partners understand each other better, ensuring both feel valued and heard. While romantic relationships can be deeply fulfilling, it's also essential to focus on self-love and self-confidence first. Because you don't love yourself and you're not confident in yourself, your potential partner is going to pick up on that. And I don't want to scare anyone, but when you don't have that self-love and self-confidence, some people will take advantage of you. So you really want to love yourself and have confidence in yourself and have that first. And that's what I'm all about, is helping you to live confidently autistic. And that's very important to me. You deserve to experience relationships where you are valued for who you are without pressure to mask your authentic self, which means you don't have to mask all or any of your autistic traits. Remember, you should embrace your unique qualities and strengths, and that includes the ones that are part of what makes you autistic in a romantic relationship. Never forget that building a healthy relationship takes effort from both partners, and that with communication, boundaries, and mutual respect, relationships can thrive. Now it's your turn. Share your comments on this video and be sure to like and share this video with others. And until next time, I am the Confident Autistic, Chris Mitchell, reminding you that you are an amazing person, and I'm always here to empower you to embrace autism confidently.